3, 2, 1. What's going on, everyone? You're watching Ash on Comics. My name is Ash, and it's good to have you here tonight. Appreciate everyone that could be here. How y'all doing? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear me. Appreciate that, because you never know when I'm having technical difficulties until it's like 15 minutes later and people are like, yo, why can't we hear you? And those of you who remember me from the good old days of streaming like last year, or was it 2018? Jeez, can you believe it's been 2 years? I was notorious for technical errors. So the old Ash and Bat show, which I'm not gonna lie, I miss the Ash and Bat show. If you were a part of that, it was good times. So how's everyone doing tonight? Dun, 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 dun. Not seeing much action as far as the chat goes. You guys sleeping? You're not supposed to be asleep yet until I read you a bedtime story. Melissa's like, I was sleeping. Dragon Majesty says, hit the thumbs up, everyone. Appreciate that. I sent out a tweet onto the Twitter world to let people know that I was streaming, but I don't have the world's biggest audience on my Twitter. So if you don't mind tweeting out on your favorite social media, people that you think might be interested in comics. Maverick says he's quarantining and chilling. Good to have you. Danes says he's good. He can't stay up so late tonight. I apologize, buddy. I'm a night owl and I'm West Coast. Makes it difficult for a lot of people. And let's see who else is here. Tehillim is here. Comic Quirks, aka Jimmy. By the way, I just want to clear the air here because not everyone knows why we call Jimmy. Even Jimmy doesn't really quite know 100%, but he kind of knows. But basically, Superman is his favorite. Well, it's between that and Hellboy, but Superman's his favorite mainstream character, and he would go to any lengths to defend Superman, even when it's not has the best talent behind it, because he's really a big fan, and I appreciate that. So we kind of nicknamed him a while back, way back in the Ash and Bats era, because he's Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen. So he's good-natured. He's got a similar personality. Jimmy Olsen's good-natured. So it was never meant to be any sort of, negative nickname. And, like any good nickname, it sticks. So for those of you who didn't quite know, there you go. For those of you who didn't quite care, sorry if I bored. Sorry for the boring story. Just trying to fill the air here. We're going to get to some comics to read, but I don't want to just launch it right out of the gate because I want to have an opportunity for some people to show up. And before we get started, I've been thinking about how I wanted to do this. I got the brainstorm, a couple weeks back with Skip and Tosh. If you know him over on Wes's channel, Thinking Critical, big collaborator. He does on his Twitch channel, he does things where he reads comics. And I was like, I kind of like this. He kind of inspired me to copycat him. So shout out to my pal Skip and Tosh over there. If he ever gets a chance to listen to this, he is the muse for me. And I thought I would do this, but I thought I was going to do a little bit of a twist compared to what he does, where he was reading comics that he loved because he wanted to share them with people, and that's great. I thought maybe I would read comics that I haven't read myself. So not only would we get to enjoy a comic, but we get to be sort of like a reaction video. And then after I did the first video, I thought, people seem to be like not happy that I read one issue of Exo Manowar and didn't continue the story. And I thought, I think people are going to want some sort of serialized nature out of this if the comic is good. So I started thinking maybe what I would do is pick a comic to read at least a full story arc of, right? If not, just like do a full serialized version and just every episode just continue on, and then do a secondary comic where it's not necessarily, it could be a one shot, maybe we could evolve into something like readers picking comic. Maybe someone might donate, hint, hint, a digital copy for me to do on the show. Things like that. I don't know where this is going to go. I like to take things and be a little bit organic. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And since I'm kind of a late owl, and I do this, and I thought, it'd be kind of cool to do it as a bedtime story theme, with late at night, everyone's quiet down, you're stuck in quarantine. And I thought, what would be a good comic to do? And that I haven't read. That's a serial. So one thing that I bought and I haven't read yet. Well, I read the first issue, but I haven't read the serial. And everyone swears by this comic, and I thought this really kind of fits for a kind of a bedtime story type book. Is Gideon Falls. So one of the books I want to do, and hopefully you guys are on board and you're not just like, I'm out. So if it's something that you are absolutely opposed to, feedback's always appreciated, of course. Let me know. But I do want to do Gideon Falls. I bought like the first 6 issues, and I read the first one and I kind of fell off it, but I want to see it through, and I know a lot of people love this book, so I want to give it a chance. And then I'm not sure what I want to do as a second book, so I guess I'll let you guys sort of help me determine what that'll be through some feedback for you guys, because I want this to be kind of a group thing. It's not just I'm no superstar, as Eric would call me. I'm a straw. But don't call me a straw man. That was a dumb joke. So, I'm sharing the wrong screen. I'm a boomer. Let's see. Share. I don't know what I'm doing. Where is it? There it is. All right. So let's see what the comments are saying here. Melissa's telling me she recommends that I check out Professor Geek. I checked out Professor Geek a long time ago, a couple years back, actually, and I really liked him. Really liked him. His stuff at the time was fantastic. He is a knowledgeable, I think he's a real professor of literature, and he had a lot of great things to say. And then he got involved in Comicsgate, and ever since he got involved in Comicsgate, and specifically when he started making his own comic and peddling his own comic, he kind of went off the deep end for me. And he made one video where he basically called everyone, what was it? Called him basically an idiot. You're a dumbass. You're a dumbass if you liked, which was it? Was it Star Wars? The Last Jedi, I think. Some movie where he just made like a 20-minute video calling anyone a dumbass. And I was like, I can't handle this. This is, I get I'm in the minority, but I don't ever call people a dumbass because they like something that I don't like. I'll argue the qualities of it, but anyways, that's my story there. Eric says, tell me a bedtime story, Ash. That's for after the show, buddy. I'll give you a call, and excuse me, this is the show. Dane says that's cool. He'll finish it tomorrow. Thanks, buddy. I've always really appreciated your support. Every one of you guys that show me support, believe me, it's a big deal. I don't make any money doing this, and I absolutely know that I'm not some big sort of superstar guy. And having positive reinforcement, people, showing that they have some value out of it, kind of makes it worth it. So thank you for that. Thank you for the likes and the shares and all that good stuff. Let's see. Melissa says that Ash, the Harley Quinn show is trash. I have no trouble believing that. I think Harley Quinn is one of the worst characters in comics. The current modern comic version of Harley Quinn, that is, the original animated TV series version of Harley was a fantastic character. I also like Harley a lot in the White Knight series, but the normal modern comics Harley Quinn, the one that's been translated to the silver screen, she's just trash. For me. Some people will like it. Dane says he'll put the announcement on both Discords. We'll see. All right. Let's see. No feedback yet about Gideon Falls. So I'll take that as a positive. Tehillim says, how would you change Bendis comics? I don't know, buddy. I definitely, if I were, if I want to play armchair publisher, I would definitely, and Bendis was on my team, I would definitely make it so that he had to prove himself, just like everyone else. He would have to sell books, and if he did really well and had a huge fan base, it wouldn't matter what my opinion was. I would listen to the fans. If he didn't sell very well, then I would give him an opportunity on smaller titles to prove himself. But just like anyone, if you're going to get a flagship title like Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, X-Men, what have you, you should be a top dog. That's reserved for the all-stars on your team. And if you aren't performing, if you're in a slump, right? It happens in the major leagues. This is for Eric. This is for you, buddy, Eric. He's a sports guy. If you're in a slump in the major leagues, sometimes they put you down in the minors to see if you can get your mojo back. And maybe Bendis needs to get sent down to the minors for a case of humble pie, so that he can develop. I don't want Bendis to fail. I want him to do good. And maybe he just needs to find the right book. Maybe he needs some motivation. Maybe he needs editors. That's the big deal. When Bendis came over to DC, what part of his contract, as I understand it, is that he was not going to have editors oversee him. And that's a huge red flag. Should never have that. Everyone needs an editor, including George Lucas, as we saw in the prequels. So, I would say one of the things I would do, how would I change Bendis comics? I would say you're submitting to an editor. Take it or leave it. Let's see. Where was I? Mark Velasco says Harleen was a great book. Thank you for joining us, Mark. I have not read it. I believe that's the one with Stepan Sajic art. There's so many Harlequin books. I can't even keep track of them all. It looked pretty. I'm just not a Harlequin fan. So, Danes, are you talking about Professor Bill? He and his people blocked me from the live chat. Yeah, it's sad because he was really good before the Comicsgate stuff. He was focusing on the qualities of writing and the archetypes of literature and all. If you go watch his old stuff, like, he's got some really good stuff, but he just got caught up into that cult of personality. Let's see. Ed Brewer. Yeah, Dave, he knows his comics, but he's a far lefty. I'm not sure what that's all about. Melissa says Mad Love is my favorite Harley Quinn story. I have heard that is a fantastic story. That is by Paul Dini, who was, I believe, one of the writers from the animated series. So that makes sense. So without further ado, I think we'll go ahead and get started with the first book, Gideon Falls. For those of you who haven't experienced the Ash story time, it's basically me reading a comic book. Sometimes I do voices because it helps discern who's talking, but I do not profess to be a voice actor. So if I don't have a professional quality that you're looking for, just remember that there's no commercials and there's no subscription fee. This is all free. Give me a little bit of a pass and I would be happy. But let's get into the fun, shall we? Gideon Falls. By the way, it's raining here, and I know I can hear on my headphones. I can hear the rain through my mic. My Blue Yeti is pretty sensitive. So if you guys hear kind of rain in the background, I'm kind of hoping you can. I think that'll add to the atmosphere, but that's why. All right, so it starts off right here where you see this image. Smack. We see a man, looks like he's stumbling through the trash. He's got a face mask on. This is pretty timely. picks up something, looks like a nail. He tosses it aside. Come on, I know you're here. I know you're here. Puts his hand to his head. Peeks down low underneath what looks like a cart or something. Finds something there. Oh. Unscrewing a jar and placing the object inside. He looks around and walks off. Now, by the way, just to say something here, I know some of you might be wondering why I might be filling in the blanks here. I got some feedback from last time before. I know some people aren't necessarily able to look at their screen sometimes as I'm reading this. So I'm kind of adding in my own ad lib, describing some of the panels when there's just to help people follow along that may not be looking directly at the screen the whole time. So hopefully that doesn't bother anyone. If it does, please submit your feedback and we'll see what works. This is all growing. Back to the comic. Chuck, chuck, chuck. And we can see a bunch of padlocks on this door. A bunch of jars with dates on them. Looks like a bunch of samples. This guy's been collecting something. He's got a whole shelf. He sits down on his bed, looks weary. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Deliver us from evil. Amen. Gideon Falls by Jeff Lemire and Andre Sorrentino. This is the same team that's doing the question book that's out right now through DC Black Label. Issue 1. Was it 1.01? I guess they're doing like seasons. That's this whole new thing with comics today. The whole let's do it seasons like it's TV. Oh, I don't like that, but whatever. We'll talk about that later. So we cut to a car driving through down a road, cornfields. The rear view mirror with a rosary hanging from it. Old buildings. We see the necktie, familiar stylings of a Catholic priest. Gideon Falls. That's right, Wilfred. It's a nice little town. Quiet. I think all things considered, it's exactly what you need right now. All due respect, Bishop, but quiet is not what I need right now. Idle hands and all that. I trust you to find something productive to keep you busy, Wilfred. Its previous pastor of more than 30 years, Father Tom Chaseley, just passed away. Gideon Fall needs you. Surely there's someone else you can send. I'm finally settling in here in the seminary. Teaching has been good for me. I have not a lot of men who can teach, Fred. I need someone that can lead. That town is floundering without Tom. I'm no leader. We both know why I came back here. I lost my way, Bishop. And now it seems you found it again. Your way leads to Gideon Falls. So he pulls up to a guy standing next to a school bus on the side of the road, smoking a cigarette. Gives him a smile. Christ almighty. And then he pulls up to the church. Outside, he's got his little suitcase. He's looking up. Father Wilfred, I presume? What gave me away? The clothes. Just joking. Oh, right. Just Father Fred is fine. And you are? Jean Thimblay, head of the Catholic Women's League and co-chair of the parish council. I guess I'm the welcome wagon, too. I hope you don't mind. I took the liberty of unflocking the rectory and doing a bit of cleaning before you arrived. Oh, thank you. That's very kind. Well, here it is. Here it is. I hope you'll have everything you need. Most Father Tom's things are still here. I figure a lot of them will come in handy until you get settled. I stocked the kitchen, of course, fully stocked. The ladies and I made some casseroles and other things. I froze some of them for you. That's very kind, Jean. Thank you. Oh, it's no bother. I used to help Father Tom quite a bit in the cooking and cleaning and that sort of thing. Oh, let me take your bag. I can show you where your room is. That's all right. I'm sure I can manage on my own. I'm sort of used to being the new guy in town. I move around a lot. Well, at least you let me fix you some lunch. You must be famished. No, no, I don't want you to trouble you, Miss Tremblay. I'll be fine. Oh, no, no trouble at all. Well, I'm quite capable, but thank you again, really. Maybe a cup of tea? It's been a long day, and I think I might just lie down for a bit. Some other time, Miss Tremblay. Oh, okay, of course. Actually, Miss Tremblay, there is one thing. Of course, Father, anything. In all the rush to get to Gideon Falls, I don't think the bishop ever told me. How did Father Tom die? Oh, I, I'd have thought you would have known. No. Was it his heart? I'd rather not talk about it. I'm sorry, but Father Tom was like, well, he was a father to me, and it's all right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. Well, I guess I'll see you at Mass. I suppose you will. Thank you, Jean. Do you believe in evil? I don't mean as an abstract. I mean literal evil. Evil incarnate. I used to think it was like an energy or something. I could feel it floating there, hanging just over the city, a weird pressure, a darkness waiting to descend. But now I'm starting to think it's more, that there's something or someone out there, someone truly evil. And I feel like it's getting closer every day. Is this about the garbage again? That isn't real, right, Norton? This obsession with hunting through the trash, it's your disease talking, finding ways to express itself. And I told you before, Dr. I'm not sick. Norton, I thought we were past this obsession. I know, but it's different this time. The city's trash. It's really showing me things now. At first, the things I found in the garbage were random. I admit that. But I knew they were important. I just couldn't figure out why. I grew more and more frustrated by the arbitrary nature of the things that drew my attention. That's when I realized I needed to be the one who imposed order. I needed to organize. I needed a system. So I started cataloging the things that I collected, cross-referencing them against a map of the city, and I started to see patterns. Now I can better anticipate where to find the important things. And it's no longer random. The things I'm looking for, they seem to come from the same source. Wood, hinges, glass, nails. But the more of them I find, the closer the darkness feels. What if it's not God who's showing me these things? I'm worried it's the devil. I'm a Buddhist, Norton. I don't believe in the devil. Look, Norton, I'm very worried about you. You had been doing so well, making so much progress, and now this again. But no, Norton, let me finish. You know that you were finally allowed to leave the hospital and live on your own because you were getting better. And I'll be honest with you. If the hospital staff wasn't already so stretched, I'd seriously consider having you committed again. I don't want to come back here. I like having my own apartment. I like being free. I know that. And I also don't think you're a threat to yourself or anyone else, which is why I'm going to let you stay as an outpatient for now. Norton, if you can't start working to get past this again, I will bring you back here to stay. Do you understand? Yes. Now, do you remember the exercises I gave you, the meditation techniques? Yes. If you can impose meaning on anything, if you try hard enough, Norton, that doesn't make it real. When these fantasies start, you need to remember to ground yourself. Meditate, calm your mind, and quiet your thoughts before they start to spiral. You are in control, Norton. Then we see him walk past this nail on the ground. Then we see the art changes here, imposes a stark contrast, black and white, the nails highlighted in red. Yes, you're right, Doctor. I am in control. We cut back to the church. Window. The priest sleeping in the bed. Psst, wake up. Hey, hurry. Wake up. You'll notice I'm missing. And then we see this ghastly apparition. Presumably it's the previous father. Wouldn't that scare the bejesus out of you? Huh? Father Tom? Is that you? Wait! Come on. Father Tom, we thought you were dead. Please stop. We can figure this out. No time. Tom. He's wandering into the field. Personal journal, August 12th. I saw Dr. Zhu again today, and now I'm worried that my work may be in jeopardy. I know that she means well, and I know that she thinks she's helping me, but I can't go back to the hospital. I can't. I'm so close now. I can feel it. A part of me wanted to tell Dr. Zhu the truth, but I'm scared that I wouldn't make her that I'm scared that would make her even more skeptical of my work. Either way, I'm not ready to reveal the full scope of what I'm doing yet. Soon, but not quite yet. Not until I know more myself. And then we see the priest looks down. He sees footprints. I wanted to trust her, but what if it's a trap? What if she isn't trying to help me, but rather stop me? All I know for sure is that she is the one person who has ever really listened to me, the one person who has ever been kind to me. I almost told her. I got close, but I held back. I didn't tell her that what I really think. I didn't tell her that I finally have figured out what it's been that I've been finding in the gutters and the back alleys. It came to me in the dream last week. No, not a dream, a vision. Its true shape has revealed itself to me at last. I finally know what it is I've been finding. I have seen it. The barn. The black barn. Oh, that's a pretty haunting image. Oh. Sweet Jesus. I don't know what it means yet, but I know it's bad. The vision was horrible, terrifying. At first, all I wanted to do was run away. I spent the week cursing God. I just couldn't understand why He'd given me, of all people, this burden, this knowledge. But then last night I had another dream. I saw the black barn, only this time it was different. This time someone else was there with me. I couldn't see their face, but I felt them beside me. And now I'm not scared anymore. There's no doubt that evil exists. I have seen it, but now I don't know what I now. Sorry, but now I know that I don't have to face it alone. Oh, there's Jean, dead. To be continued. And there's the secret origins of Gideon Falls. A bunch of text that I won't read to you now. And issue 2. Let's see here. Hopefully you guys got some enjoyment out of that. Normally I would cut in between every couple of pages and read, the chats and comments and stuff, but I don't know. I got kind of caught up in all that. So what did everyone think? Looks like I missed Dane and Eric turning into pumpkins. If you guys can still hear me, good night. Thank you for stopping by, even for the short time you were able to. And I don't know. I think I enjoyed the reading of this book this time more than I did the first time. Sometimes that can happen. I don't know if that ever happens to you guys, where maybe you're just not in the right mood or something's going on. You read something, it just doesn't impact you the way maybe, and then you come across it again. This happens with a lot of times in movies. Sometimes, where I'll like see a movie and I'm like, oh, whatever. And then like I'll catch it again later on video or something. And I'll be like, wow, I don't remember the movie being this good. And then it, turns into a favorite and you're just like, wow, it was only so-so the first time I saw it. So, looks like we have 7 people watching. Woo, huge number of people. This is a really popular series that I'm doing, apparently. Gideon Falls, music 2, huh? Oh, you mean where you'll like listen to some music and it's like whatever, and then later on you'll hear the song again and be like, oh, it's actually this is a good song or a good album. That happens to me. Some of my favorite albums are albums that I never really liked in the beginning, and then somehow they just grew on me. One of my favorite albums of all time is Pink Floyd's Momentary Lapse of Reason. And man, when I was young, my uncle would play that all the time. I'd ride in his car, whatever. He'd always play this album. I was like, roll my eyes, Pink Floyd, whatever. And I think I was like, what was that, 87? I was like 13 years old. This is actually, I had just only been just barely collecting comics for a short time around then. But then by the time I got into high school, a couple years later, I found myself just enthralled with this album. Couldn't put it out of my mind, just listening to it all the time. It's weird. And to this day, it's still one of my favorite albums, even though most Pink Floyd aficionados will snub their nose at it. But that's just the way of things. So wish I got a little bit better feedback. Not that I don't appreciate you guys that are here, but it helps me to have something to bounce off of and talk when you guys are, interacting as well. We need to build up that audience, or maybe I just need to start doing this earlier when people are awake. So that is Gideon Falls numero uno. It's definitely seems like it's going to be a slow burner. Yeah, Ed, I noticed that yours is is that the cover of the box set? I think that, if I recall that right. So yeah, I guess I should have figured. But I know, I talked to a lot of Pink Floyd fans, and you're probably, if you know a lot of Pink Floyd fans, you're probably aware there's like a lot of them that just like think that Pink Floyd died after the Wall, and they fired oh gosh, now I'm blanking on his name. I'm talking about Roger. Dang it, I hate getting old. But yeah, I'm very much a modern Pink Floyd. I like some of the old stuff that's grew on me, but I came in with the David Gilmour David Gilmour is like musical god to me. So this is my library, or actually, this is my library, and I'm trying to think of something else to read that would go, as something else to do a thing. And I'll do each story night with just like 2 comics. We'll continue next episode with part 2 of Gideon Falls, and we'll keep going on that. And then, have like a backup comic, but I'm not sure what to read. We could do Captain Marvel. All right, look at that. I got one Captain Marvel book. Roger Waters. Yeah, I don't know why I was blanking. I was like, I can't remember his name. Any other day. What else could we do? Let's see. Oh, you know what? One thing I was thinking about doing, man, was the DC New Frontier Darwin Cook. That'd be something fun to read through. I haven't read it yet. I bought the whole full volume collection. But I don't want to get into like two big things. I don't have a lot of single issue stuff, unfortunately. And I got a lot of crap on my Comixology, between free stuff and deals, and then digital codes and things like that. You can see. Where did Jimmy go? Apparently, Superman's pal is not my pal. Superman for All Seasons. I haven't read that yet. I was thinking about that. Could be good. Here's a Young Justice issue 1. I got that from Jimmy. He donated that for me back on my channel so I could review it. What do you guys think? What are you interested in? Should I do something superhero? I think I should mix it up, like do a superhero book if I'm doing a horror book. But unfortunately, it's got to be something I own digital, because that way I can share the screen and do it. Nope, no feedback. Dance, Radio Man, dance. Entertain us. Captain Marvel sounds good. All right. Let's do, where is she? Ed Brewer. You guys can all thank Ed. And then I'll thank Ed when I lose all my viewers here for doing a Captain Marvel book. Oh, wait, what happened? What happened? Wait, how did that happen? Oh, it's not actually Captain Marvel. It's a previews book. Oh, let's get rid of this. Archive you. You're gone. Sorry. I was wondering why I had a Captain Marvel book. Oh, you mean Shazam? I don't have Shazam. Gru. I don't know if I can do Gru well on this kind of format. I don't know. That I thought about it when I was going through my collection of stuff on here earlier. I was like, oh, Gru. And then I was like, that would be really tough, I think. I Hate Fairyland. I got the first issue of that for free somewhere. I haven't checked that out. Kill or Be Killed. I have the first issue of that for free. Marvel 1602. A lot of the stuff I just pick up because it's a deal or it's free, and then I haven't read it. Is that Red Hood? Red Hood. Yeah, I do have some Red Hood. Did I skip it? I don't know where I went. Should have been probably more prepared. Yeah, here it is. Red Hood. I've got the first 3 trades. As you can see, I kind of stopped right about here through the 3rd trades. This is I was reading up. I was trying to catch up on Red Hood, and I was buying the books. And then they were like, "Oh, we're canceling the Outlaws," and then I got all depressed about it, and I was like, "Ugh," and I just went off the rails. I still mean to keep going, but yeah, I get like that. So I don't know if you're like me, but I get in backlogs, and once it piles up enough, it's kind of hard to overcome. Hey, here's for Jimmy. Too bad he's not here to vote for it. I got the Thor God of Thunder. He's been telling me this is his favorite Thor book of all time. And I wanted to read it just because look at this art. It's gorgeous. Saad Rabik. Yeah, I know any one shot would be fine, but my problem I'm noticing is I don't have any one shots because that's not what comics do these days. Everything I have is like serials. And I have a bunch of books because I buy like physical, but I can't do the physical books. Let's see if there's anything on sale. Let's browse the sales. Maybe there'll be something interesting to pick up. Or maybe I should just pick up Comixology Unlimited and then they're opening up a million things. Oh, look, there's a sale on Champions, guys. Comixology Originals for sale. New Mutant sale. Pokemon sale. European Comic sale. Valerian. Oh, DC Vertigo sale. Bunch of anime stuff. Or, sorry, manga. Before I get corrected. Oh, here we go. We could read Vagrant Queen. I know you guys are dying for some of that. Marvel Fantastic Four sale. Caliber, Dynamite. Oh, man. Sometimes they have really amazing sales, and then other times you're just like, oh, man, this is nothing. But I've got some really great stuff in the past. Here we go. I'm going to start this. 47 Ronin by Stan Sakai. First issue was given away free. And I love Stan Sakai. I'm a huge Usagi Ojimbo fan. I've never read 47 Ronin. It's based on a popular work. I don't know if it's fiction or based on a true story about 47 Ronin, who their master was killed or something, and they were all dishonored. So they plotted revenge. I won't say anything more because the story. Stan Sakai is a brilliant writer. He normally writes with cartoon animals. This is the first and only story I think I've ever seen him do where he did human characters. So this should be really cool. Let's get into it. Let's see if I can move my boom mic. It's like covering the comics, making it hard to read. Actually, I can just move the window over them because I'm an idiot. Well, then I can't see the chat. You guys don't even know what I'm doing behind the scenes. You're like, who cares, Ash? Just read us the book, monkey. All right. So here we go. To know this story is to know Japan. 47 Ronin, The Tale of the Loyal Retainers, Book 1, written by Mike Richardson, art and cover by Stan Sakai. Okay, so it's not written by Stan Sakai, but we're going to give Mike Richardson a chance. December 14, 1703, Sengakuji Temple. See a man walking around the temple. Burning some incense. Praying. Caretaker looks on. Good morning, sir. Might I be of assistance? You look as if you've traveled some distance. I'd be happy to bring you some water from the well. Huh? Oh, excuse me, priest. I did not mean to ignore you. I intend no disrespect. My name is Murakami Kiken. I come from Satsuma. To honor the samurai buried here? The story has traveled quickly. Yes, I am sure that is true, but I am here to honor one man in particular, and most importantly, to beg his forgiveness. Then I may be of help? No one can help me. Come, sit for a moment, talk with me. Things can't be so bad as easy for you to say, priest, but I have shamed myself beyond endurance. Please, you are in pain. Share it with me. If you'd like, but you can't change anything. As you know, the samurai class is troubled, caught in a struggle to find purpose in a world without war. Without purpose, there can only be failure, decadence, and corruption. Yes, some see a disturbing move away from the ideals of Yamaga Soko. Only the best and most honorable can survive such times. I have always attempted to conduct myself according to the Bushido way of life. I've also been judgmental, a harsh critic of those samurai who fall short and are weak, and there lies my sin. Yamaga Soko is 17th century military strategist and Confucian philosopher who put forth the idea that the samurai class, wow, stupid arrow gets in the way, bound by devotion and duty, should assume the role of the moral leadership in Japanese society. His philosophy became the basis for the Bushido Code, the code of the warriors. You carry a heavy burden. You can rest here. You would not be so quick to sit with me if you know the truth. Truth that came at the expense of my own self-respect. You really do want to hear my story, don't you? Huh? Very well, then. I will explain why I'm here. My tale begins several years ago, Asano Takumi Nagaroni. Oh, geez, I'm bumbled that one up. Asano Takumi Naganori, daimyo of Ako, was summoned by Shogun Tokugawa Tsunoyoshi. Asano was entertaining hmm. All right. I think I'm back in. Let's give this a test here to see first if everyone can hear me. All right. I'm not sure where I dropped off, so I'm going to rewind just a slight bit. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. It's raining. Maybe something got cut. I don't know. Who knows? My tale begins several years ago. Asano Takumi Naganori, daimyo of Akko, was summoned by the shogun Tokugawa Tsuneyoshi. Daimyo is a powerful landholder who dominated Japan of the 11th century until the 19th. Asano was to entertain visiting envoys from Emperor Hagishiyama. But first, there were goodbyes to be said. Chapter 1, Cherry Blossoms, March 17, 1701. But father, I don't want you to go. I know, Miko, but it is my duty. The days will pass quickly, you'll see. While I'm away, you must be strong for your mother. But I'm not strong, I'm small and weak. Look at this. Do you know what it is? It's a seed. Yes, but it's a very special seed. It starts out small and unremarkable, but given time and nourishment, it will grow to be strong and beautiful. Just like those. And just like you. Look who's coming. Mother, mother! Ah, Oishi. I didn't see you looking about. Are my arrangements complete? All is ready. But you know I feel much better if I were going with you. Ah, Oishi, you worry too much. As your chief retainer, my job is to worry. Is it the 400 miles I must travel that upsets you? Lord Asano, you are a man of many talents, but you have little experience in the politics of the shogun's court. Oishi, you know that this will take the place of my Senkin Kotai. I am obligated to carry out the shogun's wishes. And you are needed here in Akko to take care of my affairs while I am gone. So let's end this talk. Besides, the shogun has appointed an official to instruct me in proper court etiquette. I will be fine. Then I will give you one last piece of advice. You will be disturbed by what I have seen in court. The world has changed, gone crazy. Many samurai are losing status, drinking and gambling. You will find yourself surrounded by extravagant excess. The shogun's palace is rife with corruption. Bribes are commonplace. Through it all, you must keep your opinions to yourself. Focus entirely on completing the task and returning home to your family. Think of them always and remember that the slightest word or action can lead to their ruin. Pause. So it sounds like these samurai kind of went through their own cancel culture period. It's kind of funny how things echo in time and we repeat things, and I'm sure it's not exactly, but humans are humans no matter what era we're from, and corruption and decadence and things like that brings out the worst in us. And we'll continue on. My husband, I see that your bags are being prepared for travel. You are leaving early? Excuse me, my lord. You have business with Lady Asano, and I have duties to attend. Oishi has made it abundantly clear. I must leave early in order to receive instruction in proper court etiquette. As I told Miko, days will pass quickly. Be thankful that you do not have to accompany me this time. I miss you already. The following morning. Take care, my husband. And I want to take time real quick, a pause, to just talk about the comic a little bit as I'm reading it. One thing I love about Stan Sakai is he may not be your typical prototypical comic illustrator. He's not necessarily the most realistic illustrator, but look at his attention to detail. That's one of the most beautiful things about his Usagi comics. You know, Here we have a man talking to his wife, and in a modern comic, um, it would just be like blown up where all you see is this, like, let's see if I can zoom it in here. You just like see their heads and talking, and that's all the artist would do. Um, but with Stan, he takes time to show you the scene, and you can see the world and the little girl playing with the sakura branch. And we cut over, and then they're on the bridge, and she's still playing in the water. And I don't know if those are her sisters or their courtesans. I don't know what those they are, but you get a feel of the world. And here, when the father's leading out, and he's got all his retainers, this is a lord who has commands men, and you get to know this. And these are the unsaid things that so many modern comics you don't even pay attention to. You don't even notice it because you're not thinking about it. And when you know to look for it, and when you see a book and you understand what comics can be, one thing I remember years ago, many years ago, I think it was my stepfather, someone told me about comics. One of the beautiful things about comics is they don't have a budget. You can do whatever, and that's what I've always held that really tight. That comic writers and illustrators need to remember that it's you don't have to worry about, like, a movie would have to cast all these people as extras, and they'd have to build the set and all this stuff. You should, and the world is part of the story. And one of the three pillars of comic storytelling is world building, and especially when you're telling a fantasy world like this, showing me the world, letting me feel what it's like to be in this world is very important. So this is me just blabbing on about it, but it drew my attention as I was reading why some of the things I'm so oppressed about Stan Sakai, even though it's not necessarily like the best illustration. He understands visual storytelling. Take care, my husband. Goodbye, father. Bring me a present. Oishi, my friend. Take care of them. You have my word. Goodbye, father. Goodbye. Oh. She's got the seed. Mother, I will plant the seed that father gave me in the garden, and as a surprise when he returns. That is an excellent idea. Your father will be very pleased. That will be a wonderful surprise, don't you think so, Oishi? Yes, wonderful. When he returns. The Shogun's Palace. Chapter 2. The Lack of Protocol, April 18th, 1701. And here we get a nice view. Look at all that detail. Again, it's not necessarily the most impressive from an illustration standpoint, but the time that he just takes to give you the feel of what 16th century Japan, or actually would it be? Oh no, that would be 18th century Japan. The office of court official Kira Kozuken Nosuke. Man, some of these words, these are hard to pronounce. Yoshinaka. Tap, tap, tap. Come in. I am looking over my ledger of accounts, and I think there must be a mistake. A mistake, sir? It says here that Kame-sama has given a substantial gift of coin as a token of appreciation for the instruction I have provided. But you've clearly made a mistake. It says that Lord Asano has given only 7 rolls of rice paper. But, sir, that is true. My accounting is correct. True. When I think of the effort I have put forth into teaching him court etiquette, Kame is here only to assist Lord Asano, and he gives me more? Get out and bring Asano to me now. What is wrong with this man? Why does he fail to offer the customary gifts? A short time later. Ah, Lord Asano, thank you for coming. It is my pleasure, Kira. How can I help you? You are a fast learner, and you have been a good student in your weeks here. I am certain you will make good account of yourself when the Emperor's emissaries arrive. Thank you. But there are certain matters of private protocol that take place here in the Shogun's palace. Customary acknowledgments intended as a show of respect. I'm not sure I understand. I'm speaking of a sort of exchange between teacher and student. The teacher passes wisdom to the student, and in return, the student gives some sort of token of appreciation to the teacher. But I have given you my thanks. Let me be clear. I expect compensation for the effort I have put forth and trained someone as unschooled as yourself. This is how business is done, and you will profit by observing such customs. I won't consider such payment. You are simply performing your duties as set forth by the Shogun himself, as am I. Huh? Why, you ungrateful. I expect compensation in the form of a meaningful gift. This is not a request. Now let me be clear. Under no circumstance will I pay a bribe to you or any other man. I can see that this conversation is useless. We will discuss this later, but for now I am exhausted and must retire. I have set dawn as the time for your instruction to continue. I will see you then. Slam. Lord Asano, with all due respect, was it wise for you to refuse Kira? You have made an enemy of him in the process. I have seen this situation before, and you will save yourself a great deal of trouble by relenting and giving Kira the bribe that he wants. I will not offer gifts or bribes to a court official, especially not one as obviously corrupt as Kira. Tell me, accountant, another daimyo, Kame-sama, is he taking the same instruction? Did he offer a gift? Yes, but I believe his aides took action on their own and without their master's knowledge. I'm glad to hear that. For had he been aware or paid the bribe himself, I would have lost all respect for him. Good night. This will not turn out well. The following morning, Asano, what are you doing here? Did you not get the message from Kira about moving our instruction to a new location? Kame? I received no such message. I have been with Kira the entire morning. There must have been some mix-up. I'm sure it was just a miscommunication. There's no reason to be angry, my friend. These things happen. You are right, of course. Don't worry, I am fine. Good, good. I'll see you tonight. Of course, the real reason is that I haven't paid Kira's bribe. He plans to let me remain unprepared for the duties required of me. So what can you do about it? I plan to follow Oishi's advice, focus on my tasks, and return home to my family. Chapter 3. The Incident at Edo, April 21st, 1701. Hopefully, you guys haven't all fallen asleep. But, this is bedtime with Ash, so maybe you've all tucked in your beds, getting a nice story. I know this one is probably not the most engaging as far as comic books go. It's very political, but it's one issue, so bear with me. I enjoy it, but this is, of course, I'm slanted towards this. I'm predisposed. I love Japanese culture and samurai and stuff like that. And so anyways, to carry on. Chapter 3. Kira, I received an urgent message. Oh, Asano, yes. I have not seen the new tatami mats you were instructed to prepare. Tatami mats? I suggested replacing them over a week ago. You told me it was unnecessary. Oh, no. My instructions were clear. You were to have fresh, new mats ready by tomorrow. With our dignitaries arriving, I'm afraid this will be very embarrassing for you. I know what you're doing. That will be all. I have work to complete before our dignitaries arrive. I make it a point to fulfill my commitments. Lord Asano, what happened? Kira is trying to sabotage my name. He purposely misled me. He expects 200 new tatami mats by morning. I am ruined. No, you shall have the mats. I will see to it. You have long been a loyal servant, Yasobe, but there is no time. I will wake all the tatami weavers I can find, and they will work through the night. You shall have your mats. Asano, wait! We have a free night. Why not share a meal before the Emperor's group arrives tomorrow? There will be no night off for me, Kame. Kira wants 200 tatami mats before morning. New tatami mats? I was there when he told you they weren't necessary. I've had enough of his insults and baiting. You are a daimyo of Castle Akko. He needs to be taught the meaning of respect. No, my friend. Yasobe is confident that he can deliver the mats on time. Let it pass. We will soon be finished here, and I can return to our families. Kira will be out of our lives soon enough. Morning arrives, and Kira addresses a large group who, like Lord Asano, have been called into service. I want to thank all of you for your hard work in preparing for this special day. I'd like to single out the Honorable Daimyo Kame-sama here to greet the Emperor's emissaries. He has learned the ways of the court quickly and will be a great asset to the shogun. However, there are others in this room less, shall we say, gifted. Lord Asano, for instance, is not of the city and therefore, by nature, less able. Asano, you might listen more carefully in the future. I applaud your last-minute heroics, but the tatami mats you delivered this morning seem hastily made. I don't think we can use them. There's no use in embarrassing you, or our guests for that matter. Who does this man think he is, insulting you publicly like this yet again? Kame, stay your hand. I will simply leave the room. It is better that way. Yes, there he goes, just like the stupid country farmer he is. What did you say? He starts to draw his sword. Asano, no! This time you've gone too far. Lord Asano, you dare draw your sword in the Shogun's palace. You know it's forbidden. Would you doom yourself and your clan? You are right. Excuse my poor behavior and lack of judgment. I beg your forgiveness. Yes, I will overlook your insult, but learn your place. He kicks him in the face. Yikes. Ha ha ha, just a bumpkin at heart. Clank. Ah! Asano, stop! Bumpkin! Stop now! He struck me, my face! Let me go! Watch how you handle him. This is Lord Asano, daimyo of Castle Akko. That may be true, but to draw a sword in the Shogun's palace is forbidden and punishable by death. Stay back, Kame. I am alone responsible, and I will suffer the consequences alone. I'm sorry, Lord Asano, but you must be confined until this matter is sorted out. You, Yasobe, leave now for Castle Akko and let Oishi know what has happened. But did you hear what I said? Your master is in trouble. Yes, sir, I will go now. I fear this can only end badly. End of book. Let me get some text of the 47 Ronin. And that's it. So there's only a few of you listening at this point. If you're still awake, please let me know in chat. That'd be pretty brilliant. That was 47 Ronin. I really enjoyed it. But like I said before, I'm very predisposed. I love Stan Sakai's art. I don't think I've ever read this guy. Forgot his name already. Was it Mike Richardson? Yeah, Mike Richardson. I don't think I've ever read any of his stuff before, but this was good. Of course, the story is kind of a well-known story. And this is only the beginning. I don't know if you know what happens with the 47 Ronin. But basically, it's the story of honor and avenging your master, and it's a really cool story. And I am definitely now hooked to read the rest. I don't know why I haven't read this before. And that's it. So we got through 2 books tonight. I don't want to make this too long. We're about a little over an hour in, and you guys have been great. I think I'll keep doing this and hopefully build up an audience. I would definitely like anyone who's listening at this point. You can join me on Discord. I do have a Discord channel. Let's see if I can put it in the chat here. For those of you. Let's see. Well, actually, I don't need to put it in the chat. It's in the comment. It's in the description below. I have the link for Discord. If you're not a member and you can join my Discord channel. Also, you can find me on Twitter at Ash and the numbers 1138, and you can follow me there. I sometimes get a little political because it's my personal channel. Ed really likes this. Thanks, bud. I appreciate it. Just even if a couple people really like this, it makes it worth it. I like to have some interaction, some feedback, so it's not just me reading into a mic. But what did you think of tonight's comics? They're both very different. I just love samurai stories, and this one's cool. I feel like I'm gonna go finish it up after we hang up on the stream. But I'm looking for feedback anyway. The reason about the Twitter and the Discord is so that people can maybe suggest things to do. I don't have a ton of cash to go out and buy a bunch of books, but if anyone has digital copies that they want me to do, I would be happy to do any digital commissions, reading the stuff. I'm going to do at least the first 5 or 6 issues of Gideon Falls, and we'll make that a theme, and then we'll see like the backstory. So I think what I'll do in future episodes is the Gideon Falls will be the main event, and I'll do that last. And then so we'll just start off, have like 15-20 minutes of talk, do a comic, a little bit of talk, and then do the main event. And that sounds like a good structure. So Doug Johnson, thanks for joining in, giving a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Let's see. Ed says, I like the first better than the second one. Yeah, I can kind of see that. This 47 Ronin, especially the first half of the book, was really kind of just dry. A lot of dialogue and probably not super. Like I said, I'm predisposed to it. So like I just get all immersed in the samurai lore and culture and stuff, but wasn't a lot happening until the end. And then you could see like, okay, the shit went down. He got framed by, this corrupt official who trapped him. And I find it fascinating that a lot of this stuff echoes what's happening today. I mean, if you look at modern politics, you're right. You kind of see a lot of that similar thing where the politicians, trying to lure their enemies into these political traps so they could smear them in the face of others. Now, we don't have the same culture as, ancient Japan. You're not gonna have to fall on your sword or whatever, but they try to use a lot of similar things. So I don't know why I'm seeing that. Maybe it's just because just the times we live in right now. But yeah. Anyways, so that was one issue. At least you got a sampling of what that was like. I don't think I'm going to continue the 47 Ronin. I don't think you necessarily have to be a fan of anime or manga to appreciate that. It's not really either one. If anything, I would say that it's more akin to like Japanese samurai cinema, like Akira Kurosawa films. Again, something I'm really big into. And I agree, Ed, Kung Fu movies are awesome. I love Kung Fu movies. So yeah, I'm going to have to think of something to do as a secondary comic. One shots would be perfect, but in modern comics, there aren't that many. So yeah, Anyways, I think since the chat has died down, this would be a good time to call it a wraps and not draw things out too long. I want to thank you guys once again for showing your support, for putting comments in the chat. Like I said, it helps me. You guys entertain me as much as I hope to try to entertain you. So hopefully I'll see you around on Twitter, social media, or on YouTube. And thank you so much for watching. And I'm Ash. And good night.